Welcome to the podcast series, Small Business Survival Conversations. Through our weekly conversations, we hope to provide you with strategies and insights, knowledge and expertise to enlighten you as you work to build and grow your business. Here are your hosts, Anna Steinfest and Dr. Michael Troyer.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our program. I'm Michael Troyer, and my colleague Anna Steinfest is here with me as well. Hello, Anna.
Hello, everyone.
Topic today is learning to prompt your artificial intelligence tool. So for those of you who haven't stepped in and gotten your feet wet, today we're going to talk about how to do that.
Michael, I just want to make sure that we've talked about prompting, and I was like thinking maybe some of you don't even know what is prompt. Prompt in your head, I want you to think about is a command. So what kind of command you're ordering to this platform? Because we'll talk about AI platform, because there's multiple platforms. We've talked few in another episodes. We probably will reference some of them, but we'll have a special episode going through different, very useful platforms. So prompt in your head, I want you to think about command.
It's giving direction.
Giving directions. Absolutely, Michael. Yes. Just giving direction. Absolutely.
But I really like kind of laying that out in a little more detail. And so that's what we're going to do today. So I want to start with, there's a role that our artificial intelligence is going to play for you. And you have to, if you can, decide what you think that role should be. You can tell ChatGPT to be an expert in a subject and give them the subject and ask them to put itself in that mode. Or maybe you have to make a decision and you need to make ChatGPT, I'm sorry, I'm struggling with those letters, to act like a decision maker or maybe a presenter of a talk, whatever it might be. You're kind of giving it the role you want it to play as you begin working with it. So basically you're narrowing down a little bit what you want that computer program to focus on.
Yes, Michael, I just wanted to add, because I want you to understand why you have to do this is because this platform, so ChatGPT, can go and they can access any information available on the website, anything. But when they can access everything, it's too confusing for them even to be like, okay, what do you want? What kind of information do you want me to give you? So that's why our first step, we want to make sure that you narrow the focus. We want you to be today, let's say, only virtual assistant. So you will help me with these tasks, which virtual assistant will do. You're a marketer today with SEO, search engine optimization knowledge today. So that's what Michael is saying when you're assigning a role, or I will put it like you're putting a hat on that platform.
I need to identify the vendors with whom I need to work. So I want you to think like an expert who helps me sort vendors. Boom, we've given it a role. And we've because there's millions and millions of documents it can look at. Now we've narrowed that down to those that are involved in delivery of products or services, or however we might frame it. So yes, we've narrowed that millions and millions down a little bit, made it quicker. Second is to establish what it is we want, the objective we're trying to achieve. You need to be specific in describing what it is you need from this app to help you in doing something you're undertaking today. So you may need to make a request, and you need to give it some context. I say I'm going to hire somebody to work now in my firm. Then I need to give ChatGPT the context. What's the nature of this position I'm thinking about? And actually, just to understand how unique this is, I could say I want to hire an HR manager. So what are the interview questions I should be asking? Or I could have stepped back a pace and said, I'm going to hire my first employee. Here's what I'm doing. Here's the context. I'm a new business, and this is the market I'm in. What should I hire next as an expertise? One level is I don't even know what I need, but this final level is now I need an HR person, a human resource person. So all these different levels we can work at, but we need to give a request that's clear, and we need to give it the context.
Now, I want to add here a little tip or trick. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know. We don't even know what to ask. What you do in this case is you ask again, ChatGPT will say it. This is what I'm trying to do. What information do you need from me to give me that information? So you can even go, like even back, Michael, because we're talking about, you're absolutely correct. Okay, this is our objective. But, even if you don't know what kind of information you will feed ChatGPT, ask, what information do you need from me?
And I want you to think, as listeners, back to what Anna said a little bit ago about the background for all of this. When you ask that question, what is it that I don't know that I should know in terms of hiring an employee in let's say, a position? ChatGPT or Claude or whomever, that little machine, is going to go out and look at all the articles that focus on that issue of you need some new employees to back you up to help you get your firm going. You've narrowed the focus, but they're going to draw on all the thousands of writings in that subject area and give you some ideas coming out of that. So you've narrowed the focus a little bit, but you've also asked that computer program to focus on all these good ideas that others have written up over the years and bring it to you in a summarized form. You don't have time for that. ChatGPT can do that in seconds.
Absolutely. And then the next step, Michael, we recommend.
We have to provide some boundaries or guidelines or constraints that are necessary, again, to help shape that response a little bit. So let's say we're trying to reach an audience with a presentation or a promotional description of a product. We need to get a sense of who we're talking to. What's the nature of our audience? We could ask that question first of all. Who would be interested in a product in this area? We can get a response from AI on that. Then we could ask, how do we best talk to them? What words are going to click with that demographic of audience? Let's say I want to be sure that I've included the Hispanic community in my product offering. They're going to help me figure out what the Hispanic community wants from me, because there's a lot of writing on that. And ChatGPT is going to give me some guidance in what I'm preparing as a description for my product.
You can also add what type of language you would like to use. Remember, we've talked about simplification. So if you have already your wording from your website and you're struggling, how do you communicate this to some of your customers? You can tell ChatGPT to put it at, let's say, 4th grade level, college level. So what ChatGPT will do is they will simplify your wording and deliver that at that particular level. So you can make sure that you mold that, what kind of education level, let's say, they can utilize.
I think of another example. Let's say I want to put out a written note to all of my employees. Some of them have been at this work for 10 years, but some of them have just begun in the last year or less. Maybe I don't want to send the same note to all of them, because it's implying some of them are I'm not recognizing their level of expertise, the length of time they've been with me. I could ask ChatGPT to give me 2 messages, same information, but one is for employees where I'm saying, you've been here with me a long time, and I honor that by the way I'm saying the message. And some of you are brand new, and I'm going to be a little more direct and a little more detailed. Instead of trying to write those 2 notes yourself, ChatGPT can do that for you, just by giving it the boundaries, the guidelines that you need, who your audience is.
Yes, but if you don't like what you receive as a output or as a response, there is a very interesting button. You can redo it again, try to modify your prompt.
Yeah.
Or there is this button which says regenerate, and ChatGPT will give you another answer. You may like that better than the previous one.
So think of the power of all of this. It isn't a one-time prompt to ChatGPT to give you some information. You can ask it to try to reword that for your purpose. You can keep playing with ChatGPT or the other forms of this kind of tool, generative AI. That is, you shouldn't quit right away. Keep working at it, because it remembers what you asked before, And now you can ask another question and keep refining what it's delivering to you.
So what Michael right now tells you, we call this one prompt chain. So you ask one question, and then from that question, ChatGPT answers. So you have another prompt, another command, and order. So we call this one a prompt chain because ChatGPT knows what you're asking and can have a conversation or can polish the final response for you.
So keep at it. Keep keep talking to Claude or ChatGPT or one of the other apps we're going to always be talking about now, because they want to work with you, even though it's a machine. It wants to work with you and help make things better.
And if you can remember, this is another way, and I will just end the episode. It's prime, prompt, polish. Prime, we've talked about when you're giving the role for ChatGPT, what role do you want this to get? Then prompt, that is your order, that is your command. And after that, when you receive the response, if you don't like it, guess what? Polish it, whether you regenerate or you have a prompt command. So you're asking, hey, I like this, I don't like this, I want you to bring it to this particular, let's say, educational level. So prime, prompt, polish. Remember these 3 words.
And just as something else, there's so many apps coming out now that I just want to say, find yourself some newsletters out there that are going through these various apps, and they're giving the pros and cons or the advantages and disadvantages. I'm going to mention a couple. Wonder Tools is a great one, Jeremy Kaplan. There's Good Tools by Robin Good, but there's a lot of other ones as well. Newsletters coming out. They're doing the work for you and even helping you figure out what apps to work with. And so one of them, Jeremy Kaplan, recently said, you can get a free ebook out there called The Art of ChatGPT Prompting. It's a guide to doing what Anna just said. So you go back and you prime, prompt, and polish, and that book will help you do that. And it's an ebook. It's out there for free. Look at all the resources you have to help you get into this technology. Why should you hold back at this point?
Michael, I have a better idea. Just listen to our podcast.
Oh, there we go.
Because we will be the one to deliver the resources to you guys, and we will try. So if you don't have time to read all the rest of the resources, we are doing it for you and will simplify your life. That's why we're here for you.
That's right. Thank you, Anna. That's great. We hope you have a very good week, everyone.
You've been listening to the Small Business Survival Conversation podcast. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode. In the meantime, hook up with us on our Facebook group at Small Business Survival Tools and Tips. Till next time, thank you for listening.